Just trying to be patient, just trying to keep track of his cycle, able to take down his tower like really easy. Yo, what is up guys, SurgicalGoblin here and welcome to this new episode. In today's video, it will be a little bit different than usual guys. Actually, I already mentioned this in my last video, also on Twitter a little bit. But in today's episode, I'm going to make a video trying to help you guys like learn how to keep track of your opponent's cycle. Basically explaining the basics, also how to improve, like getting better at it. What like to specifically keep track of, what I personally do. Also, you guys left some questions like on Twitter. I asked, do you guys have any specific questions? So also you guys left some questions. I will go over that in a little bit. And then at the end of the episode, I'm actually 8-1 in the Grand Challenge right now. I will do one live match with this deck. But first, as I said, I will go over the basics. So I'm sorry guys if this will be a little bit chaotic sometimes, or a little bit too much information at once. I haven't really done any kind of content or videos like this. So hopefully it will actually be really helpful. Hopefully I will not make it too chaotic. And hopefully you guys can actually learn a lot from this episode, because it's actually a really interesting topic. And in my opinion, if you like understand this and actually are able to practice like this mechanic and this knowledge, I think you will actually be able to get a much better player like within Clash Royale. So as I said, first the basics. So I'm not sure like who doesn't really know this, but I'm pretty sure some guys out there might not know this. So for example, let's say the Ice Spirit. I cycle with the Ice Spirit. Let's say I drop the Ice Spirit. I need to drop 4 cards to have that Ice Spirit back in rotation. That's for everyone, same for your opponent. It's not like for some players it's different. So as you can see, here's the Ice Spirit. Then Dart Goblin is 1 card. Then the Princess will be 1 card. And then for example the Lock and the Skeletons, and as you guys see, there's the Ice Spirit again. So the Ice Spirit is back in rotation after 4 cards. So of course, like a quick cycle deck, it's harder to out-cycle them, because let's say you're up against like 2.6 Hawk Rider cycle deck and you're using this lock bait deck. Of course, you know that they will cycle really quick to their lock. But against like a medium deck or a beatdown deck, it's actually quite easy to, for example, with a quick cycle deck, to out-cycle the counters. In this case, like a lock bait, for example, a balloon, or maybe like a Hawk Rider cycle deck, as I said. So that's basically the basics. As I said, if you drop 1 card, anyone, like you just have to drop 4 more cards to have that 1 card in rotation. So this way, like you will be able to keep track of, for example, a counter. Like in the beginning, if you have never tried to keep track of like your opponent's cycle, I would begin with just 1 card or 2 cards maybe, like depends like how easy like it will be for you. Like maybe you're struggling a lot, then I would only start with 1 card. But for example, I said like a spell, like if you're using Lockbait, if you're a Lockbait player, in my opinion, the most important card to keep track of is, for example, their spells, like their poison, their lock, of course, like barbell, stuff like that. And then try to like recognize how quick their cycle is. Sometimes it's hard, like in the beginning of the match, especially if your opponent is waiting. But I think in general, like the meta decks, like it's quite easy to recognize them, like after seeing a few cards. For example, if you see, let's say like a Batarang, Dart Goblin, and a barbell, you're pretty sure it's P.E.K.K.A. Lightning, like P.E.K.K.A. Ram Lightning. Of course, sometimes like you can face some strange decks or like off-meta decks. Of course, it will be different. But in most situations, you will be able to recognize your opponent's deck and then try to, adjust, like adapt your playstyle towards it. Like in some situations, like 2.6 or rather cycle deck with Lockbait, I tend to be really aggressive with, for example, Princess at the bridge. But in other matchups where they don't have a lock, I tend to, for example, like stack Princesses, like try to cycle in defense. So it's actually really, interesting. I guess it's just a matter of like practice, like experience. In some matchups, like you notice that you have to out-cycle really quick because their cycle's really quick. In some matchups, you have to, like for example, just wait like until like, for example, with Balloon. Like at the end of the episode, I'll also do a match with this. But for example, with Balloon, like you just have to like basically wait and gather information and then hit them at the like best possible moment ever. Basically like when their cycle is really bad, because Balloon actually can take 1 tower, like 1 good Balloon push can basically take down their tower. So it's really important with Balloon to be able to keep track of their cycle, because let's say your opponent only has 2 air counters. Let's say they have a Mega Minion and an Electro Wizard, and let's say you go with like a Miner and a Bats, and he drops a Mega Minion on the Miner and the Electro Wizard on the Bats. Of course, you still need to defend that, but it's actually pretty easy to, for example, defend that with a Dart Goblin, take a little bit of damage. But then if you go with Ice Golem Balloon, he probably has nothing in cycle for that. So in this way, like you will actually be able to make some really good plays and actually attack like in really good moments. It's actually the same for defending. Like you shouldn't only keep track of their counters, you should also be able to keep track of their win conditions. Because let's say they have, I don't know, let's say my opponent is using Hawk Cycle, I kind of need to make sure to keep my mini P.E.K.K.A. like in cycle for that Hawk Rider. And also, like if I know that, for example, he has 2.6 Hawk Rider cycle, also in some situations, like for example, if I know that he doesn't have his Ice Golem in cycle, and since he doesn't have a Zap or like for example I don't know, he would be forced to fireball. A miner and a bets combination could be really good. So in general, I think like just gaining experience is really important, just because this way you're able to, yeah, kind of make good pushes, so to say. Like make, I don't know how to say this really, but like make smart attacks. Like for example, I said Ice Golem Balloon when he doesn't have like Electro Wisp and Mega Minion cycle. Because let's say you like do that when they have it in cycle, you just allow them to make like a really big counter push, and you probably only get like the death damage of the balloon, for example, which isn't really worth it. So in general, I would say like being patient is really key, and being able to keep track of their like your opponent's cycle definitely help you to, yeah, get a better player like in general, or become a better player in general. So you also like, you guys also asked some questions. So the first question was, do I track all the cards always? So personally, I don't do it always. It also depends on the matchup, especially like also what I'm doing. Like if I'm playing a tournament and without recording or something, usually I tend to try to keep track of most of the cards, like if possible. Of course, it depends on the matchup, as I just said. Like if he has a really quick cycle deck, it will be really hard to keep track of his cycle like always. But let's say he has a beatdown deck, probably I keep track of it always. Like it's actually quite easy. Well, not that easy, but it's actually quite easy, just because his cycle is kind of awkward. Like a heavy beatdown or like a heavy beatdown is really easy, but then for example a medium beatdown like a giant deck or something like this, like giant miner, sometimes can be tough. But it also depends on what deck I'm playing. Like in some decks, like in some situations, it's not even important to necessarily keep track of all of the cards, just because, as I said, like with a balloon, it's most likely yeah, like keeping track of their air counters, and at the same time making sure like what their win condition is, being aware of what their win condition is, and then try to work around that, get them in an awkward cycle, and then hit them hard when they don't have the right answers to your balloon push. So as I said, it totally depends per deck. If you guys would like, I can also kind of make a video maybe another time, like what to keep track of with what deck, and also like their win condition, how to adjust like your playstyle, for example against a quick cycle deck, like a medium deck, and then a heavy beatdown deck. Not sure if that will be useful, but let me know in the comment section down below if you guys would like to see something like this. So that was the first question. As I said, like the second question, how to get better at it. So personally, how I got better at keeping track of the cycle was just practicing. Just practice, and practice basically makes perfect. Because let's say you always focus on like being able to keep track of their spells. Of course, in the beginning you might struggle. In the beginning you might be like wrong. Maybe you think he doesn't have a login cycle, ends up that he does have it in cycle. So of course, like sometimes you can be wrong, but I think in general, like just practice makes perfect. Like for example, doing friendly battles, maybe a classic challenge, grand challenge, you don't even have to focus on winning. Just try to focus on improving. Like try to focus on improving your skill of being able to keep track of your opponent's cycle, because this way you will eventually get better, like your skill as well. And because of this, you will actually win, like end up winning more matches. I'm pretty sure you guys will notice it fairly like quickly, like if you're able to keep track of it, that you will actually start winning more matches. And they will actually I think it will actually feel good that, for example, you do like an Ice Golem balloon push when you know that he doesn't have anything in cycle. So as I said, I think practice makes perfect. So for example, as I said, friendly battles, classic challenge and grand challenge, or maybe like a tournament or whatever, maybe ladder as well. But I wouldn't really recommend ladder, just because the decks like on ladder are quite often like really strange. But of course, like if you just want to focus on like one or two cards, I think ladder like should work as well. And then another question, so when and how can we predict the cards placement? Like when and how, like do I know my opponent, for example, will drop a card, like stuff like that. So it's basically like recognizing patterns. Like in my opinion, like if for example people always play their, I don't know, let's say miner in front, and they don't switch it up ever. Like if you face a really good player, of course he will switch up his miner. But let's say you're facing a player like who always switches, or he doesn't switch its placement at all, and he always drops it in the front. Like those type of patterns, maybe it's really obvious. But also with, for example, the musketeer, like if he always drops it in like the right side of the tower, with for example this balloon deck, like you will be able to adjust to that, and you can just miner like towards the musketeer, like the placement where he has been dropping it always. And then for example do a zap, same with like for example the princess, stuff like that. So try to recognize patterns. Of course, like I said, a really good player will often switch it up, but even against a really good player, like often you will see like some kind of pattern, and then you can try to adjust towards it. It's not that easy like to predict like when he will drop that specific card, but if you're able to keep track of his cycle, I think in general you like will be able to know like what he will drop. Because for example, let's say you know that he has a Mega Minion cycle, and you go with like, let's say he has a Mega Minion cycle, he doesn't have a Zap or anything, then you can for example also adjust like with the Ice Golem Balloon, and then support it with bets, because you know that he doesn't really have anything for the bets. He does have something for your balloon, but then like with the bets you will be able to kind of counter the counter. So I'm not sure if that makes sense. Hopefully I'm not too confusing. Hopefully I'm not giving too much information that's really confusing. Let me know in the comment section down below if you guys have any other questions like regarding the like the cycle, keeping track of it. I'm not sure sure if I actually mentioned everything or if I forgot something, but this is basically what I wanted to share with you guys. Hopefully it wasn't too messy. And also, as I said, I will be doing a live match, so I'm not sure if I forgot something. I will quickly check. So yeah, basically I mentioned the basics like of the cards, like if you drop one card, needs to drop 4 more cards to be able to get it back. Then also about the quick cycle decks, the medium and the beatdown decks. So the quick cycle decks, as I said, especially like if you're beginning doing this, I wouldn't really recommend like tracking multiple cards. I would only focus on, for example, one card. Like as let's say you're using lock bait, the lock, then medium decks, like for example a giant miner deck, something, you can try to keep track of 2 cards, for example, and their counter to your deck. And for example, their win condition, like being able to keep track of their win condition is also fairly important, because if you recognize that, for example, their win condition is a balloon deck, you will of course try to not drop like a mega main on their miner. You rather either take some damage or you, for example, counter it in a different way. So I think that is really important. And then also I mentioned like how to get better at it, and then also like what I personally do if I always track all the cards. So that's basically it for this video. As I said, I will do the live match, so I would say let's just hop into that match really soon. But I did want to ask you guys for feedback, like if you guys have any feedback, if you guys have anything I should do different or better like in the future for these type of videos, if you guys think I should continue doing them. Basically let me know in the comment section down below, guys. Thank you guys so much for your support, and I would say let's just hop into the live match. Okay guys, as you can see, I found the live match, so let's try to focus on his counters to my balloon, like his air counters, and then also like what deck he's using, like the win condition. So let's give him a thumbs up and let's give him a good luck. So we start off with Miner, we have Goblin Gang, Balloon, and Zep. So in this deck, as said, like I think what, most likely, it depends on the matchup of course, but one really good Balloon push could, for example, take down his tower. So the Baby Dragon is, for example, a counter. Baby Dragon often does have Tornado, so Tornado, like he might actually use it like on the Miner, for example. So we can either like force him to use the Tornado on the Miner, or we can try to outcycle it, like if he uses something. So it's Baby Dragon and the lock, so just use the lock. So I will see what else he has for the Goblin Gang. So it looks like so far he's actually using a beatdown deck. He has the Night Witch, he has the Baby Dragon, the lock, so he needs to drop 2 more cards to have the Baby Dragon in cycle again, because he used the lock and right now the Night Witch. So knowing that he has Night Witch and a Baby Dragon, I'm assuming that he also has a Mega Minion, so I don't really want to go with the Ice Golem and Balloon at the bridge right now. Could be a really aggressive play. I might actually try to bait out the Mega Minion here with, for example, the Ice Golem at the bridge and the Miner, and then like forcing him to respond to it. I don't know if he has like a ground unit. Looks like he does, so let's see if he actually uses also his Mega Minion. Looks like he doesn't. We did outcycle his lock, so he might actually end up going with a Mega Minion or something for the Dart Goblin. But let's see, guys. So it looks like there's the Mega Minion, so that's really good information. So right now we know that he has the Baby Dragon in cycle, and he also has the Night Witch in cycle, and as I said before, I'm pretty sure that he has the Tornado. So let's try to, okay, so there's the Baby Dragon. So right now is actually a perfect moment to hit him with a Balloon push. So knowing that he just used the Baby Dragon and he just used the Mega Minion, let's go with the Ice Golem, let's go with a Balloon, and let's actually send the Miner at the back of the tower. Why the back of the tower? Just because, oh no, hopefully the Baby Dragon, the Baby Dragon actually does go away. So there's the Lightning and the Miner at the back of the tower. Why? Just because if he has a Tornado, he will not be able to like pull the Balloon, excuse me, backwards, and also the Miner. So as you can see, just one push with the Balloon, just trying to be patient, just trying to keep track of his cycle, able to take down his tower like really easy, or maybe I make it look like really easy. I'm not sure right here if we should keep the pressure. I'm pretty sure like we kind of should. Let's actually try to keep the pressure here. Let's go with Ice Golem, let's go with a Balloon, and let's go with a Miner. This time he does have the Mega Minion cycle. That's why I had my bets ready. So the bets will be able to hopefully kill the Mega Minion. Looks like he actually went with a Tornado, so he did spend quite a lot of elixir there. He also goes with a Baby Dragon. So let's right now focus on defense. Let's go with a Mini P.E.K.K.A. Let's go with the Ice Golem. Hopefully be able to protect the Night Witch for a little bit at least. And right now we just need to survive for 29 seconds. I'm not sure if we're able to, guys. Let's go with a Zep in defense. Let's go with a Miner in defense. And I'm pretty sure we will actually end up losing the tower here. So we will definitely lose the tower here. So that was actually pretty tough for us to defend. Like he has a really strong push, especially with the Lightning. So let's go with bets on the back of the Baby Dragon. Let's then go with Dart Goblin over here, and he actually goes really aggressive with Balloon. Oh wow, I didn't meant to drop an Ice Golem there. But let's see, let's go with a Mini P.E.K.K.A. He might actually end up Lightning here. I'm pretty sure he will. Okay, so it looks like he actually goes all in. He will go with his Night Witch. He will go with his Mega Minion. We actually cycle back to a new Dart Goblin. Let's go with Dart Goblin. Let's go with Ice Golem. Let's go with a Goblin Gang to counter his Lumberjack. Looks like he actually goes with his Tornado. Let's go with bets over here. So he's actually able to get a lot of damage and actually almost brings down the tower into Lightning Ridge. So right now is the moment to go in, guys. Let's go with... Okay, so it looks like he actually used his Mega Minion. So I will go with Dart Goblin. He might actually go with a Golem in the middle. No, looks like he actually goes... So let's go with a balloon. Let's go with a miner. And let's then pull the ice golem, knowing that the Mega Mini is a good counter to him. So looks like he actually goes with his lightning. Looks like he actually goes with the lumberjack as well. So let's go with bats to surround the baby dragon. Looks like he actually goes with a tornado. So while playing his part, knowing that he just used a tornado, we might actually have to go with a dart goblin in the middle. For example, like a mini P.E.K.K.A dart or a mini P.E.K.K.A balloon push. So let's actually go with mini P.E.K.K.A balloon in the middle. Let's see what he drops to respond to it. He will probably drop his night witch. There you go, there's the night witch. Let's zap it away, and looks like the unfortunately the mini P.E.K.K.A did die, but the balloon actually was able to get a hit. The dart goblin actually is there, guys, and I think he will go with his looks like he's actually going to lightning cycle. So let's go with a miner, let's go with the ice golem, dart goblin in the middle, in the pocket to be able to chip away, but I dropped the ice golem first to tank for that, and the dart goblin with the miner and the ice golem was able to take it down. So definitely not an easy matchup over there, guys. Actually almost through the game. Let's give him a good game, let's give him the well played, and let's give him a thumbs up. But hopefully I actually explained it like well, like especially in the beginning. I think I did quite a good job at like keeping track of his cycle, hitting him hard when he doesn't really have a good counter in hand, especially with the miner placement. I think that was quite like key, just because this way like he can't end tornado. Like I recognized that he had golem tornado, this way he can't end tornado the balloon and the miner like towards it, because like he can for example tornado the miner, but then the balloon will take his tower, and if he like tornadoes the balloon away, then the miner is still there taking for it. So I think I actually played it pretty well, did make it a little bit close, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Let me know in the comment section down below if I should do more type of videos like this. Let me know if it was actually useful, or if you think like I should not do this anymore. Personally, I had quite a lot of fun doing it, so hopefully you guys enjoyed watching it. If you did, make sure to smack the like button. If not subscribed to the channel yet, feel free to subscribe, and I will see you in one of my next videos. Bye guys.